Judging by some of the headlines today in Russia, Moscow believes that the latest telephone conversation between Presidents Putin and Trump went well. Certainly for the Kremlin, Putin and Trump agreed to work together on Ukraine resolution, concludes Izvestia. Record-long Putin-Trump call, declares Komsomolskaya Pravda. The paper's website adds, as things stand, Russia has scored a diplomatic victory here. Why are some in Russia claiming victory after this 2-hour phone call? Probably because by the end of it, Vladimir Putin hadn't been pressured into making any major concessions to Ukraine or to the United States. On the contrary, he had in effect rejected President Trump's idea of an immediate unconditional 30-day ceasefire, instead of pressuring Moscow with the threat of even tougher sanctions and penalties to get Russia to sign up to its plan. The US administration reacted by praising the Kremlin leader. "We had a great call," Donald Trump told Fox News. "I would commend President Putin for all he did today on that call to move his country close to a final peace deal," said Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff. Not only did Moscow not agree to an unconditional ceasefire, President Putin set his own preconditions for peace. They include an end to Western military aid to Kyiv and intelligence sharing with the Ukrainians, as well as a halt to mobilization in Ukraine. Such conditions are widely viewed as a way of securing Ukraine's capitulation. It's hard to see Kyiv agreeing to any of that. But could the Trump administration eventually be persuaded by Moscow that such conditions are acceptable? And if so, would Washington force Ukraine to accept them? Vladimir Putin recently raised the prospect of US-Russian cooperation in aluminum production and rare minerals mining. The message appears to be getting through. "We'd like to have more trade with Russia," said Donald Trump on Tuesday in his interview with Fox News. "They have some very valuable things for us, including rare earth. They have a big chunk of real estate, the biggest in the world. They have things that we could use." Moscow may well be hoping, possibly calculating that Donald Trump will prioritize getting a chunk of that Russian real estate over securing an acceptable deal for Ukraine to end the war. It's a point echoed today by the pro-Kremlin Izvestia newspaper. Moscow's logic is to make economic relations with America so profitable that severing them would be too costly for the United States. After Ukraine had agreed to an unconditional ceasefire a week ago, the US administration publicly announced that the ball is in Russia's court. Now that Vladimir Putin has rejected the deal and set his own conditions, the Kremlin leader has hit it back into America's court.